All right. Hey there, everyone. Welcome back for another deep dive. And, I'm pumped for this one because, well, winter's coming, and let's face it, sometimes the thought of even like leaving the house to get the mail can feel like a Herculean effort.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it.
Right. So I
Mm.
can't even imagine trying to tackle something as intense as the 75 hard challenge when it's, freezing outside, the sun sets at like 4 p.m.
Oh, yeah, that's hardcore for sure.
But you know what? There are those incredible individuals out there who not only survive the winter, they thrive in it. They conquer challenges that would make most of us want to crawl under a weighted blanket and hibernate until spring.
Yeah.
And that brings us to today's deep dive. We're going to explore the journey of Kitty Chimal, a rocket scientist who completed the 75 hard challenge in the depths of, get this, an Indiana winter. Can you even imagine?
Wow. Rocket scientist. Okay, that's impressive right off the bat.
Right. I mean, talk about discipline and mental toughness. And the best part is, uh, well, I guess not really best part, but the great thing is that Kutage documented his entire 75 hard experience.
Hmm.
So we get to like peek inside the mind of, someone who's not only brilliant, but also incredibly driven and resilient and, hopefully steal some of his strategies for ourselves.
Yeah, like a blueprint for success, especially for those of us brave enough to attempt this challenge during the winter months.
Exactly. So for those of you who may not be familiar with the 75 hard challenge, let me break it down. It's basically 5 daily tasks, no exceptions, for 75 days straight.
Well, no exceptions. That's tough. Right?
Yeah, it's no joke. And it all starts with chugging a gallon of water every single day.
A gallon.
A gallon.
Every day.
Yep, I know, right? And then because the exercise portion of the challenge, you have to do two 45-minute workouts every single day. And here's the kicker, one of them has to be outside.
Oh, no. Rain or shine, or in this case, snow.
Oh, absolutely. Blizzard, sub-zero temperatures, you name it, you're out there.
Okay, so let's see, that's a gallon of water and 2 workouts. What else?
Ooh, you're just getting started. We've also got the diet, which is, pretty strict. No cheat meals, no alcohol for 75 days straight.
Whoa, that's commitment right there. No cheat meals. I don't know if I could handle that.
Right. It's a big ask, but that's where the mental toughness comes in. Then there's the reading challenge. You have to read 10 pages of nonfiction every single day.
Okay, that one doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, it seems manageable, right? But, life happens, you get busy, tired, and sometimes those 10 pages can feel like 100.
True, true. Especially after a gallon of water and 2 workouts.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And to top it all off, to round out those 5 daily tasks,
Mhm.
you have to take a progress selfie every day.
A selfie.
I
Huh.
know, I know. Sounds a little bit vain, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit, but honestly, I can see the value in it. It's like, holding yourself accountable and tracking your progress visually.
Oh, absolutely. And, for some people, that visual reminder can be incredibly motivating. So we've got our gallon of water a day. We've got our two 45-minute workouts,
Hmm.
one of which has to be outside. We've got the strict no cheat meal, no alcohol diet. We've got our 10 pages of nonfiction, and we've got our daily selfie.
5 tasks, 75 days, no exceptions.
That's the 75 hard challenge in a nutshell.
Okay, so Kajide shackled this in the middle of winter, right? So let's start with that gallon of water. How did he even manage that?
Right. Like, I'd be worried about turning into a human icicle, just carrying that much water around. Did he, like, have a special backpack or something?
Well, I don't know about a backpack, but he definitely had a system.
Okay, I am all ears.
He strategically broke down his water intake throughout the day.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, like he'd start his day with a liter right after waking up.
Okay.
Then he'd have 500 milliliters before and after each workout.
Smart. Staying hydrated during those workouts, especially in the cold, is key.
Right. And then he'd have another 500 milliliters before each meal.
So he's basically like pre-hydrating for every activity.
Exactly. And you know what's interesting? He actually found that all that water helped him curb those snack cravings.
Oh, that makes sense. It's like built-in portion control. You're too full of water to even think about snacking.
Right. And speaking of smart strategies, I love that he refilled his gallon jugs at Kroger.
Yes. Gotta love that environmental consciousness. Reducing waste while crushing a challenge. It's a win-win.
Totally. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Kashitij, being the rocket scientist he is, well, he actually used a formula to calculate his precise water needs based on like his activity level and his body weight.
Wait, hold on. A formula. We're talking like equations and calculations for water.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like he brought his scientific mind to, every aspect of the challenge.
Well, that's pretty amazing, actually. Like, he's not just blindly following a rule. He's understanding the science behind it.
Exactly. And it makes sense, right?
Oh, absolutely. Because, you hear all these different recommendations about how much water you should drink, but it really does depend on a lot of individual factors.
Right. And in the winter, staying properly hydrated is even more crucial, right?
Yeah. For regulating your body temperature, preventing those chills, it just makes everything work better.
Yeah.
So, okay, so he's conquered the water portion of the challenge,
Mhm.
but now I'm even more curious about the exercise. I mean, 2 45-minute workouts every day, one outside, no matter what the weather's like. That's intense. How did he even find the time, let alone the motivation to do that?
Well, for starters, he's incredibly disciplined, right? Like we already talked about, he's a rocket scientist, so he's used to, setting goals and sticking to a plan.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But still, 2 workouts a day, even with a plan, that takes some serious dedication.
Oh, for sure. And here's the thing. He didn't just power through the same boring routine day after day. He knew that variety was key, especially with, 75 days to go.
Okay, that's a good point. I mean, I get bored with my workout routine after like a week. So what kind of workouts kept this rocket scientist going for 75 days?
Well, he mixed things up a lot. He did, indoor and outdoor workout.
Okay, give me the details.
So indoors, he hit the gym, classic gym stuff. But he also did calisthenics and yoga to improve his flexibility. He even played racket sports. Can you believe that?
Wow. Talk about well-rounded.
Right. But then when it came to those outdoor workouts, well, that's where things got really interesting.
Okay, I got to hear this. What was he doing out there in the freezing Indiana winter?
So he did some running, some tennis, but get this. He also walked with a 21-kilogram weight.
Whoa, hold on. A 21-kilogram weight? Are you serious?
I'm not kidding. 21 kilos.
Okay, that's next level. Like, I can barely carry my groceries that far.
Right. But, it shows you the kind of dedication we're talking about here. And this is what I really admire about his approach. He's all about pushing limits, which is clear, right? But he also stresses the importance of doing it safely.
Okay, that's good to hear. Because, I can see myself getting caught up in the challenge and maybe pushing myself too hard too soon.
Yeah, it's easy to do, especially when you're feeling motivated. But he recommends a gradual increase in intensity, especially when you're dealing with, icy sidewalks and slippery conditions.
Yeah, that's really important.
Yeah.
So, okay, he's a rocket scientist, he's a fitness fanatic, and he preaches safety. This guy is like the total package. But hold on, you mentioned earlier that he's an analog astronaut. What does that even mean?
Oh, yeah, that's right. So an analog astronaut is someone who participates in simulated space missions here on Earth, like testing out technologies and procedures for future space exploration.
Wow, that is so cool.
Right. And it requires incredible, mental and physical resilience.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Which totally makes sense considering the challenges of the 75 hard.
Okay, so it's like he's already used to pushing his limits in extreme environments, both physically and mentally. So when he says pace yourself, we better listen. But okay, let's talk about the part of the challenge that makes me the most nervous, the diet. No cheat meals, no alcohol for 75 days. That sounds like torture to me. How did Keatis even survive without like a little cheat day here and there?
It's definitely tough, but he did something really smart. He consulted a registered dietitian.
Oh, okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, to kind of bust some common diet myths and create a plan that worked for him.
Okay, I'm all ears. What kind of myths are we talking about here?
Well, for one, he learned that the whole you need 5 to 6 hours of continuous sleep thing.
Yeah.
Not a universal rule.
Right.
It actually depends a lot on your genetics and your individual sleep patterns.
So you're telling me I might be okay with less sleep, even though I always feel like I need a full 8 hours?
It's possible. Everyone's different, right?
Okay, that's a game changer. What else did he learn?
He also discovered that having a low body fat percentage, even below 10%,
Yeah.
isn't necessarily a bad thing. Again, it depends on your individual genetics.
Okay, so it's not like a one-size-fits-all rule.
Exactly. And get this, he found out that occasional treats can actually be beneficial for your mental well-being.
So it's not about deprivation.
Right.
It's about making, smart choices that work for you in the long run.
Exactly. Sustainability is key, right?
Okay, that makes me feel a little less terrified of this whole diet thing. But let's get to the good stuff. What did this guy actually eat to fuel his 75 hard journey?
Well, his diet was all about like protein, veggies, and ditching the processed junk, you know?
Okay. So like clean eating.
Pretty much. Think like steel-cut oatmeal with berries and protein powder for breakfast.
Okay.
Big protein bowls with like tons of spinach for lunch. Lean protein sources like chicken and fish for dinner.
Okay, that sounds doable.
Right.
And it's not just about like what he ate, right?
Yeah.
It's also about resisting all the tempting stuff. Like, the pizza, the sugary cereals. That takes serious discipline. Did he share any strategies for avoiding those cravings?
Oh, yeah, for sure. He was all about like meal prepping and having, healthy snacks on hand to prevent those moments of weakness.
Okay, that's smart. If it's already prepped and ready to go, you're less likely to reach for the junk food.
Right. And he emphasized like finding healthy alternatives to your favorite treats.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Like if you're craving ice cream, try a protein smoothie bowl with like fruit and a drizzle of honey.
Oh, that's a good one. I could get behind that. Okay, so we've tackled water, we've tackled exercise, we've tackled the diet. Let's move on to the reading challenge. 10 pages of nonfiction a day. Might not sound like a lot, but life gets busy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. He chose books that were like both informative and inspiring.
Okay, so what was he reading?
Well, a couple of his favorites were Wings of Fire by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam
Okay.
and Mission to Mars by Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin. Okay,
yeah.
now I see where he gets that rocket scientist inspiration.
Exactly. Reading before bed, it not only helped him like relax, but it also had a positive impact on, his subconscious mind.
It's like planting those seeds of success while you sleep.
Yeah, sleep.
I love that. Okay, now let's talk about that infamous selfie task. I gotta admit, I kind of chuckled a little when I first heard about this.
Yeah.
But you know what? Tracking progress it's crucial.
Yeah.
And a visual reminder can be incredibly motivating.
Oh, yeah.
So what was Kashitich's selfie strategy?
He used the official 75 Hard app.
Oh.
For reminders and task tracking,
Yeah.
which is super helpful. And he took his selfie at the same time every day, using the same pose and including his full upper body to monitor his physical progress.
Okay, that's actually really smart. I can see how that would be, helpful for tracking those changes.
Right. It's all about like consistency,
Yeah.
creating a visual record of your journey.
I'm starting to see how all these like little details contribute to that bigger picture of success.
It's all connected.
Yeah. So Kashiti completes the 75 hard challenge. He's feeling strong, he's disciplined, he's hydrated. But then what? Does he just go back to his old habits?
That's a great question, and that's what we'll dive into after a quick break.
All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more of Kashiti's story and those all-important winter strategies.
So you're right. We let off on that cliffhanger about those winter workouts. I mean, imagine trying to like drag yourself out the door for a 45-minute run when it's like below freezing. It takes a special kind of dedication.
Seriously. My idea of winter exercise involves walking from the couch to the fridge and back. So how did Kashiti avoid becoming a human popsicle during those outdoor workouts?
Well, he's all about, preparation and adaptability. He made sure he had the right gear, like, thermal layers, moisture-wicking fabrics.
Okay, yeah.
And a good pair of gloves to keep his hands warm.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what about when the weather is like truly treacherous? Like, those days when the snow is piled up to your knees or the wind is making you feel like you're in an Arctic blast?
Yeah, he didn't mess around with safety
Right.
on days when it was like just too dangerous to be outside. He found alternative indoor options.
Yeah.
Like indoor tracks, stair climbers at the gym, or even just, body weight exercises at home. He was all about finding a way to get that workout in, no matter what Mother Nature threw his way.
So it's about being flexible, having a backup plan.
Exactly.
That's a good reminder for all of us, even if we're not, dealing with blizzard conditions. Life throws curveballs, and sometimes you just got to adapt, right?
Yeah.
But let's back up for a second and talk about something that really impressed me, Kashiti's decision to consult a registered dietitian. That's not something everyone would prioritize, especially with all the other like demands of the challenge.
It was a smart move, though. You know how there's so much like conflicting information out there about diet and nutrition?
Right.
Well, he wanted to like cut through the noise and get personalized advice from an expert. It's like, having a personal trainer for your nutrition.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
So what kind of insights did he gain from working with a dietitian? Was it mainly about like meal planning, or did they go deeper than that?
They really went deep, exploring everything from his genetics, metabolism, to his individual goals and challenges. Remember those myths he busted about, like sleep and body fat percentage?
Yeah.
That came from those consultations. He learned that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to diet, and that understanding your unique needs is crucial for success.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. It's like getting a custom tailored diet plan instead of following some generic fad diet. And honestly, I think that personalized approach is what makes the difference between a temporary fix and a long-term lifestyle change.
You hit the nail on the head. His experience is a reminder that we're all unique, and what works for one person might not work for another. It's about finding what works for you, and having a dietitian guide you through that process can be incredibly valuable.
All right, now I want to talk about something we all secretly struggle with, especially during a challenge like this, motivation. How did Kashitij manage to like stay motivated day after day, especially when the weather was miserable and he was probably like craving all those forbidden foods?
Well, he found motivation in his goals and in the power of routine. Remember those selfies he took every day? He said that seeing his progress, even the small changes, it kept him going. It's like having a visual reminder of how far you've come and how much you're capable of.
That's so true. Sometimes, we get so caught up in the day-to-day grind that we forget to acknowledge our own progress.
Yeah.
Those little wins, they can make a huge difference in staying motivated. But what about those days when even like looking at a progress photo wasn't enough?
Yeah.
Everyone has those moments of doubt, right?
Oh, of course. Even rocket scientists have their down days.
Yeah.
He said that on those days he relied on the power of his routine. He had a set schedule for his workouts, his meals, his reading, everything. And he said that having that structure in place made it easier to stay on track even when he wasn't feeling particularly motivated.
It's like having a roadmap for success. Even when you're feeling, lost or uninspired, you just follow the steps and eventually you reach your destination. But let's be real, routines can get boring, especially over 75 days. How did Kashithej keep his routine like fresh and engaging so he didn't, burn out?
That's where his diverse workout routine really shines.
Yeah.
By constantly like switching things up, he kept his mind and body engaged,
Yeah.
preventing boredom and plateaus. And he didn't just focus on physical fitness. He chose books that aligned with his passions and interests, which made the reading challenge feel more like a reward than a chore.
That's so important. Finding ways to make the challenge enjoyable and aligned with your interests is key to staying motivated. It shouldn't feel like punishment. But okay, let's be honest. There had to be times when Kashitej felt like throwing in the towel. 75 days is a long time, and this challenge is no walk in the park. Did he ever come close to quitting?
He actually almost quit on day 31. Can you believe that?
Right.
He was out for his outdoor workout and it started sleeting.
Oh no.
He said he felt miserable and was ready to call it quits. But then he thought about all the work he had already put in and realized that giving up wouldn't make him feel any better.
Wow, day 31. That's almost halfway through the challenge.
Yeah.
What made him like change his mind and keep going?
He dug deep and found that the inner strength that we all have. He reminded himself why he started the challenge in the first place and visualized himself crossing the finish line. And guess what? He pushed through that tough moment and ended up finishing the challenge stronger than ever.
That's incredible. It's like those moments of adversity, those times when we want to give up are the very things that make us stronger.
Yeah.
It's about finding that resilience and refusing to let those challenges define us.
Exactly. And that's a valuable lesson we can apply to any area of life, whether we're facing a personal challenge, a professional setback, or just a really tough day. It's about remembering that we're capable of more than we think, and that pushing through those difficult moments can lead to incredible growth and transformation.
So Kachidi conquers the 75 hard, even with, Winter trying to sabotage him at every turn. He's a fitness machine, a reading enthusiast, a master of discipline. But the big question is, how does he translate all of that into lasting change? Does he go back to, old habits, or does he find a way to make those positive changes stick?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And that's what makes his story so inspiring. He didn't just view the 75 hard as a temporary challenge. He used it as a springboard to launch himself into a whole new way of life.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. How did he make that happen? Give us the details.
Well, he kept many of the habits he'd built, but adapted them to fit his everyday life. He still exercises daily, but he focuses on activities he truly enjoys, like playing tennis and running outdoors. And he also stuck with his healthy eating plan, but allows himself planned cheat meals.
Yeah.
Indulging in a slice of pizza or a piece of cake every now and then. It's all about, balance and sustainability.
So it's not about being perfect. It's about finding a way to make those healthy choices work for you long term. That takes a lot of self-awareness and discipline. But hold on, you mentioned earlier that Kshitij is already eyeing up even tougher challenges. What's next on his list?
He's thinking about taking on Andy Frisella's phase one, which is like the 75 hard on steroids. It adds things like cold showers, specific business tasks, and even stricter dietary rules.
Whoa, cold showers in the middle of winter. This
Exactly.
guy is unstoppable. But seriously, that kind of dedication is inspiring, even if it sounds a little intense for us mere mortals. What do you think drives him to keep pushing himself like that?
It seems like he's all about like continuous growth and pushing past his comfort zone.
Yeah.
He's not content with just coasting through life. He wants to see what he's truly capable of, both mentally and physically.
It's easy to focus on the physical transformations that come with a challenge like this. But what really strikes me about Cheetah's story is the mental shift he describes, that newfound resilience, that no excuses mentality. Those are qualities that can truly change your life.
Absolutely. The 75 hard, it's as much a mental challenge as it is a physical one. It's about building that inner strength, that unwavering discipline that you can then apply to every aspect of your life.
It's like you level up your mindset, and suddenly you're not afraid to go after those big goals, whether they're related to your health, your career, your personal life.
Exactly. And that's something we can all learn from his experience.
Yeah.
It's not about having like superhuman willpower or perfect conditions. It's about embracing the challenge, finding creative solutions and remembering that even small consistent steps forward can lead to incredible transformations.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one piece of advice you'd give to our listener as they embark on their own 75 hard journey, especially with winter lurking around the corner?
Don't underestimate the power of your own mind. When those icy mornings hit and those cravings start to whisper, channel your inner rocket scientist. Plan meticulously, adapt to challenges, and never ever give up on yourself. You got this.
I love that. Channel your inner rocket scientist. That's going to be my new mantra.
Mm-hmm.
So, listener, as you lace up those sneakers and fill up that gallon jug, remember Kachiti's story. Embrace the challenge. Find joy in the process, and never forget that you have the power to achieve anything you set your mind to. Now go out there and crush it. That's the $1 million question, right?
Yeah.
Does he go back to, pizza and Netflix binges, or does he find a way to kind of keep that momentum going?
That's what's really remarkable about this whole thing. He didn't just view the 75 hard as a temporary challenge. He used it as a springboard to launch himself into a whole new way of life.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
How did he make that happen? Give us the details.
He kept many of the habits he'd built, but adapted them to fit his everyday life. He still exercises daily, but he focuses on activities he truly enjoys, like playing tennis and running outdoors.
Right.
And he also stuck with his healthy eating plan, but allows himself planned cheat meals, you know,
Mhm.
indulging in a slice of pizza or a piece of cake every now and then. It's all about, balance and sustainability, right?
So it's not about being perfect. It's about finding a way to make those healthy choices work for you long term. That takes a lot of self-awareness and discipline.
Yeah.
But hold on, you mentioned earlier that Kushidej is already like eyeing up even tougher challenges.
Yeah.
What's next on his list?
He's thinking about taking on Andy Frisella's phase 1, which is like the 75 hard on steroids.
Oh wow.
It adds things like cold showers, specific business tasks, and even stricter dietary rules.
Whoa, cold showers in the middle of winter. This guy is unstoppable.
Yeah.
But seriously, that kind of dedication is inspiring, even if it sounds a little intense for us mere mortals. What do you think like drives him to keep pushing himself like that?
It seems like he's all about like continuous growth and pushing past his comfort zone.
Mm.
He's not content with just coasting through life. He wants to see what he's truly capable of, both mentally and physically.
It's easy to focus on the physical transformations that
Yeah.
that come with a challenge like this, but what really strikes me about Kshitej's story is the mental shift he describes.
Yeah.
That newfound resilience, that no excuses mentality. Those are qualities that they can truly change your life.
Absolutely. The 75 hard, it's as much a mental challenge as it is a physical one.
Mm.
It's about building that inner strength, that unwavering discipline that you can then apply to every aspect of your life.
It's like you level up your mindset and suddenly you're not afraid to go after those big goals, whether they're related to your health, your career, your personal life.
Exactly. And that's something we can all learn from his experience. It's not about having like superhuman willpower or perfect conditions. It's about embracing the challenge, finding creative solutions and remembering that even small consistent steps forward can lead to incredible transformations.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into Kshitij's 75 hard journey, what's the one piece of advice you'd give to our listeners as they embark on their own 75 hard journey, especially with winter right around the corner?
Don't underestimate the power of your own mind. When those icy mornings hit and those cravings start to whisper, channel your inner rocket scientist. Plan meticulously, adapt to challenges, and never ever give up on yourself. You got this.
I love that. Channel your inner rocket scientist. That's going to be my new mantra. So to all of our listeners out there, as you lace up those sneakers and fill up that gallon jug, remember Kshitij's story. Embrace the challenge. Find joy in the process and never forget that you have the power to achieve anything you set your mind to. And that's it for this week's deep dive. We'll catch you next time for another inspiring journey.